Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing as Syria and we're going to be forming the PALMYRENE Empire. Yeah, I think I got that pronunciation right. So we're going to be forming the PALMYRENE Empire in modern day, right? So first thing I start off raising a couple of money. I just mainly to invade Lebanon because that's my first target, right? And I let them attack me for a bit, and then that's invaded right afterwards, and there was an easy conquest. Then soon after that, I decided to just take my troops and then invade Jordan because I knew I could. I mean, Jordan's pretty weak usually, so I'm able to invade them, and I mean easily enough. They were pretty easily invaded. Now I annexed the whole thing, and I proceeded to just release them for the one state that I didn't need. And after that, I just disbanded my army and just decided to wait for a while before trying to launch any other attacks. And then afterwards, I mainly just spent the next couple of turns just chilling, right? Also, Jordan has like one person in their military. I don't know. I find that kind of funny. But regardless, I then invade Palestine, and that takes one turn. It was, yeah. No, there's nothing much I can really say. And then I immediately used that to invade Israel right afterwards because I need their territory too. So yeah, just invade them. Now I don't attack their capital yet, but I wait for a bit before attacking, and that helps me because I'm able to take it with less casualties. And after taking over them, I decided to wait a little bit because my next two opponents are Syria, Turkey, and the next three opponents are Syria, Syria? No, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Turkey. So not an easy fight whatsoever, right? And so now I'm just sitting here, and also I realized that Jordan isn't even paying me anything in tribute, so I just like put it down to 0% because it's useless, and I completely just increase my military recruitment upkeep. Like I just try to decrease. I use all my research points on that. And then I look around and I realize, oh, Turkey and Iran are at it. So since they just started the war, I decided to wait a little bit because, I mean, I decided to just wait so that they tire each other out and then attack, right? Meanwhile, I started raising a massive army because over, in Palestine. And it ended up being like 20,000 people, which I then proceeded to use to prepare to invade Saudi Arabia, right? So now I got Saudi Arabia in a couple of wars like to the south, not to like it wouldn't destroy them, but like it would distract them for a moment while I just seize territory over in the back over here. And I only knew I only needed a few provinces, so I just rushed in with all my troops, and there was very little resistance. And I mean, it kind of makes sense, but still, yeah, very little resistance. And once I took all the provinces I needed, though, I just decided to leave with that. And Saudis peaced out, so it was all good. And then, meanwhile, I decided to just move my troops to Egypt. So I didn't want to like disband my army and waste time, rebuilding it and all that. And so instead, I got Egypt in a war with Sudan, so that they could that their army would be there and not on the Sinai where I was planning to attack them. And I made sure Egypt was thoroughly embroiled in the southern part of their country. And then once I had a feeling it was all right, I just invaded. Now keep in mind I'm playing on a deficit of like 100,000. So if anything went wrong with this invasion, I am absolutely doomed. But nothing did go wrong because it was an overwhelming numbers invasion, like overwhelming, yes. And so, I was able to just rush through and quickly take most of the Nile provinces, which is where Egypt's population is. So they really had nothing out here in the desert. And soon enough, I was able to actually conquer all the territory I needed. However, the game didn't let me annex everything, and so I had to deal with having most of the country that actually matters, but there were some parts that I couldn't get. And so I got Libya at war with Sudan to prevent them from attacking, even though they pieced out like literally the next turn. So that was for absolutely nothing. And then the next many turns I spent just assimilating. Not assimilating, sorry, waiting for the money to come back. Keep in mind this entire time I still had Saudi and Egyptian territory that I needed to assimilate, which I didn't. But luckily, like reducing the taxes actually prevents like revolt. Like I'm telling you guys right now, like if you can't assimilate a region, like because you're broke, just like remove, like just drop the taxes completely. The happiness, like the happiness will stop people from rebelling, is what I'm saying. Right now, I started looking over at Turkey because I realized my conquests to the south were over. Turkey and Iran were mauling each other as usual. I mean, if you guys have played any more than like 5 times in the modern day scenario, you guys will know Turkey and Iran just get into it like every single game. I think I don't know why. It's like Poland and Ukraine, Turkey and Iran, Romania and Greece. These are the duos, the dynamic duos of AOC2 modern day scenario. I'm telling you. Okay. Now, anyways, that aside, I started invading. I mean, I invaded Egypt again for the second time, and they kept trying to counterattack. I didn't go and try to attack where they stacked units, but I attacked elsewhere, and soon enough, I was able to annex the whole thing. And I decided to just release the parts that I didn't need. Right now, I was gonna release ancient Egypt or something like that, because I mean, I'm forming the PALMYRENE Empire, so gotta release ancient Egypt. And I think I missed it or something, but yeah, no. I decided to just go with Egypt, the Egypt, like the actual Egypt, and I just released them and gave them the provinces. And so now I was done with all my conquests to the south, leaving only Turkey to actually be conquered. And so I moved back everyone to Cairo, or actually no, Giza, my bad. Moved everyone back to Giza, and of course assimilated the rest of the territory. And I moved them all to this thing, Palestine instead, or Israel, whatever. And so then I once again looked up and checked out Turkey. I moved them to the supply camp that I built in Palestine earlier so that I could make money faster. And once I did, I waited till I had enough money to raise a big army because I knew Turkey was going to be no pushover. And meanwhile, Iran and Turkey, right, so Russia got involved against Turkey, right? So what I did was I got a bunch of nations around Russia to just declare war on them. Why? Because, not because I have anything against Russia. It's just that I did not want them invading Turkey and interfering with the war. And so I got every country around Russia to just dogpile them. Like, just completely just destroy them. So that they don't, like, interfere with this Turkish-Iranian war. And honestly, like, between you and me, guys, I'm be real. I actually kind of want to, like, know how this war ends, because it's such a stalemate that it never ends, like, seemingly never ends until another country gets involved somehow. And so, like, I don't know, maybe in the future or something, I'll, like, do a video where it's just Turkey and Iran and then see who wins, so that the AOC2 community can finally answer the question, who wins between these two. But back to the video. I'm losing track here. Sorry, guys. But I started invading through Syria, and I guess we could say this is Erdogan's worst nightmare. Yeah, it's Syrians across the border. Yeah, that sounds like Erdogan's worst nightmare. And yeah, no, I started advancing everywhere, right? Because keep in mind, Turkey has been fighting Iran for like who knows how long at this point. I think it's like, I don't know, bro. I don't even know how long they've been fighting Iran. But keep in mind, they still had territory in Iran. Shockingly, like they didn't start immediately losing territory, and so I started attacking all of Turkey because I realized, oh well, since I'm here, might as well just keep advancing as far as I can. And I was like, okay, I can just go till the other side of Turkey. Meanwhile, I didn't try to advance too much over on the eastern side of Turkey because I knew that's where their troops would be. If they had any left, that is. I don't know. But that's where their troops were. And sure enough, they started like doing very weak attacks. It was out of desperation, most likely. But weak attacks to try attack my line. But alas, it was futile. Futile effort from the Turks. But soon enough, I was able to just conquer all of Turkey and then annex the regions that I wanted to. Or at least, well, I didn't just annex the regions that I wanted to. In fact, I annexed more than that. Because I annexed what I wanted to and then realized I could just do so much more. So I just got all of like Western Anatolia on for myself, right? And luckily I got all the provinces right. So yeah, and even I mean a lot extra. And I even gave Turkey back some provinces because I felt a little bit bad. And then I decided to release the Hittites because hey, I mean if we're doing an ancient empire, might as well release another even more ancient empire. So that being said, I think the video comes to an end soon enough. We basically formed the Palmyrene Empire. We're just too broke to actually do the formable. So once I released the Hittites, I proceeded to then look at my army. You know, just disband my army completely because I needed. You know, of course, I mean, it didn't really. It doesn't have a purpose anymore. So I just disbanded my army everywhere it was, and then I watched the money roll right back in, and finally we formed the Palmyrene Empire. I will see you guys next time.